Well, my hairdresser and my costume dresser was not there. Let me see here. What better place for the townsfolk of Anandaville to congregate than at the precursor to our very own Master's Market, the One Too Many Cafe. What a town full of characters we've got. A single-syllable chap, a traveling magician, and crime percolating in the ether. Get ready to hear a tale or two that establishes the brewing, bubbling plot. A plot so thick you'll need to cut it with a Bowie knife.
Well, good morning, Sheriff. I see you keep law and order in an orderly fashion these days.
And good morning to you, Anandaville. Still talking up a storm, I see. Say, if you're not careful, they're going to name a telephone or telegraphic system after you, or something like that.
Could be, Sheriff. Could be. What'll it be today? Leaded or unleaded?
Unleaded for me. I'm following Will Power's example and switched to decaf. But what else have you got?
Well then, how about carrot juice or beet juice? You know you can't beet or carrot juice.
Sounds good, Anandaville. Fill her up.
All right then.
There you are, Silas Plowfield. Good to see you again. But say, why the frown?
Well, you know, Sheriff, I'm plowing the fields every day when my heart calls me to do a more scholarly career, a school teacher or a professor of something important, where I can inspire aspiring students and set their minds on fire with the hunger for knowledge.
I see. And you had a fairly ambivalent childhood, if I recollect.
Well, yes and no. My father was from Mexico and my mother was from Germany. So whenever they wanted me to do something, it was always, Mignona, now, Mignona, now. So I pretty much had to learn to fend for myself.
Our schoolmarm, Miss Arnica Blossom, said you were the star pupil in Anandaville school, Silas. Pity you have to be out plowing fields instead of harvesting young minds. Have you spoken about this to our preacher, our new preacher, Orville Spud?
No, Sheriff, can't say I have.
Just moved here from Bavaria with Sybil May, his simple living, simple-minded wife.
Sounds like a good idea, Sheriff. I reckon I'll put your recommending to the test. If he can't help me, maybe he can at least help me find some peace of mind on the matter.
Interesting man, our new preacher. Says he feels a strong connection with our hero, Will Power. But then, don't we all?
Here you go, Sheriff. And what can I get for you, Silas?
Whatever he's having.
Say, Sheriff, why do you think old Pedro Chihuahua's always in silence? He's such a nice man.
Well, it's like this. Ever since Pedro's nephew ran off at an early age, he's been in mourning for the little guy. They looked all over for him. Tried to identify him by a birthmark shaped like a diploma on his left ankle. Poor Pedro ain't been the same since, I reckon. Now, if he speaks at all, it's in monosyllables that begin with S. Kind of like a long, drawn-out sigh.
Poor fella.
Let's see if I can engage you in a proper conversation. Well, good morning to you, Pedro. Wonderful day, isn't it? See? And how's the wife? wife these days? Is she doing well?
Si.
What was her name again?
Sue.
Yes. And does she still work at that fabric store?
Si.
What exactly does she do?
So.
I see.
So.
Yes. I'll never forget last summer that fine chili dinner she rustled up for us when I came a-visiting.
Si.
But those weren't pinto beans. What kind of beans were they?
Soy.
Soy?
Si.
That reminds me, Pedro. Did you ever find out if that hog you traded to Farmer Bunyan was a he or a she?
Si.
Well, what was it? A he? What was it? Was it a
Sow.
sow?
Si.
Pedro, tell me, are you still working at the lumber mill?
Si.
What do you do all day?
Saw.
I see. Pedro, I haven't seen that brother of yours around. Is he still around here?
Si.
What was his name again?
Sigh.
Cy?
Si.
Well, Pedro, it's been inspiring chatting with you. Reckon I better mosey on back to the jailhouse. Place has become a vestige with all this peace and harmony. You know what they say, a jailhouse that's not used gathers much dust. Say, what's all that commotion about?
Sounds like a crowd gathering around the traveling magician just returned from touring in Hay Valley.
Don't you mean Grass Valley?
Yeah, that's it. Name's Houdini Whodunit.
You mean it was Houdini who did it?
No, Houdini who done it.
He did it?
Houdini who done it. well, here it comes now.
Ladies and gentlemen, dudes and damsels, welcome to the greatest show this side of the Yuba. My name's Houdini. Who done it? I shoot. Dang it. Bringing you the latest, the greatest, the stupidest, stupendous and spectacular feats of human achievement ever. Thank you. Thank you. Speaking of feats, mine sure are aching tonight. Which reminds me, are there any damsels in distress in the audience? Well, ladies, I recommend you try some of them there yogi postures they teach over there across the meadow at the expanding kerosene lantern. Oh, they'll make you feel like a stick of butter on a hot summer's day. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've all been waiting for, the most bedazzling magic on the planet. Now, I'm going to start with the famous handcuff trick. Watch carefully. You see before you two genuine handcuffs. Solid, impenetrable, but watch very carefully, ladies and gentlemen. You won't believe your eyes. A 1, a 2, a 3, and there you go, ladies and gentlemen. You couldn't pull them apart if you tried, but wait, there's more. Watch carefully. 1, 2, 3, and there they are, ladies and gentlemen. Solid as can be and apart. How about that? I want to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, last month I took my show on the trail, done a tour of the East Coast. In fact, I performed out on the Cape. They loved me so much they gave the Cape to me. Dear Lord, with a response like that, what's the youngest you can be to die of old age? Speaking of capes, ladies and gentlemen, and now we're going to show you the disappearing leg feet. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, not only will my legs disappear, but my feet as well. Look carefully, you see 2 legs and 2 feet, and they are mine. Now watch very carefully again, ladies and gentlemen. Now, Ladies and gentlemen, pray with me with the dear Lord, because those are my legs and feet, and I sure hope they return at the end of this trick. Let's watch carefully. Oh, goodness. The other ones are missing. Let's try it again. A 1, a 2, a 3. Gentlemen, thank you. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, yesterday I went shopping at the general store. Dash my luck, they were fresh out of General's. So I went over to the corn section and I bought me a couple of kernels. It was a very private moment. Then I bought me some powdered water, but I couldn't figure out what to add. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm trying to kick the caffeine habit. So I bought me a decaf coffee table. About that time, I was downright near starving, so I went next door to the restaurant. The sign said breakfast anytime, so I ordered French toast during the Middle Ages. Why, they waited on me hand and foot, and it's a good thing, because it cost me an arm and a leg. Y'all were singing earlier, speaking of body parts, ladies and gentlemen, and now the magical, the mystical, the mysterious, transforming finger trick. Ooh. You see before you 2 fingers on the left hand and 2 fingers on the right. Watch carefully, you won't believe your eyes, ladies and gentlemen. A 1, a 2, a 3, and there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Suddenly transformed, 4 fingers on one hand and no fingers on the left. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to caution you, don't try this at home. And for the little children out there, so you're not scared, we'll return them back to their original position. A 1, a 2, a 3, and there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Y'all were singing earlier about going out alone. Downright inspired me. Anybody got a 20 I can borrow? And now, ladies and gentlemen, for my grand finale. Watch me pull a rabbit out of my hat. Oh. Nothing up my sleeve. Oh, no. Presto! Hey, you cute little critter. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. And remember, you can't have everything. Where would you put it?
What's all the fuss, Deputy Quick Draw? It's a secret. What? What's this? The Anandaville Bank has been robbed. They robbed us. This is a job for our fearless hero, Will Power. Let's go, Sheriff. We should go and check. Come, let's go.